Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. I'm Mark Nuce. Thanks so much for joining us today. With us on the program, two representatives from the Columbus Donut Run, which is coming up Saturday, October 29th. We have the race director, Josh Riley, and the Jones Foundation chairman of the board, Sherry Jolly. And thanks so much for being here, both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Josh, let's start off with you. For those who have never heard of the Donut Run, what is it and where is it?
Sure. So the Donut Run is the largest donut-based 5K in the Midwest that essentially pays homage to the donut. It's a massive fundraiser for the Joan Levy-Bissazy Foundation. 100% of the net ends up being allocated towards head and neck cancer research via the Jones Fund. The event features, we'll have anywhere from 6 to 9 dancing mascot donuts, line dances, live DJs. We have a 30-foot inflatable donut, a selfie booth. Imagine 18,000 donuts in one location. That's what this is going to be. So it's an ultimate celebration of the donut. It's fun. It's family-friendly. Every year we grow by leaps and bounds. We're anticipating somewhere around 3,000 participants this year. This has really become a large event, and it's at Genoa Park in front of COSI, so it's a beautiful location. And it's something that we're really proud of. It's a great, like you said, fun family event that's become our top fundraiser for the Joan Levy-Bissazy Foundation.
And Sherry, you don't always think of 5Ks and donuts going together, but wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Even we take the donut theme to the point where we actually pass out donut holes at every K. So we have, a water Gatorade station that also supplies donuts in case you don't have enough to make it to the next K. It's very family friendly. A lot of people bring their children. So it's just a really big family event, which is why it's so much fun.
And it raises money for a good cause.
Absolutely. Yes. We all of our funds, as Josh said, go to the head and neck cancer research done at the James. Head and neck cancer is actually starting to really become a bigger problem. Oral cancer is starting to become a bigger problem in younger people. Before it was diagnosed in people who were over 60 and had a history of drinking and smoking, and now we're starting to see it in a whole different demographic of people. And the James is working really hard, and actually the leading hospital in the country on head and neck cancer research and actually treating patients with that particular type of cancer.
And Josh, it's a lot of fun. The race is a lot of fun, and I know being close to Halloween, you get a lot of people in costumes.
Absolutely. I'd say, this is a ballpark estimate, but we probably had 500 people last year dressed up in costumes. We have a lot of people doing this as a team event, so there'll be big teams of people dressed up, and it kind of goes along with our theme. Some of the mascots might even be Homer Simpson or some other famous sort of costume. It's intentionally put on October 29th because we're so close to Halloween. So it'll be a good time.
And Sherry, I know probably you get, as he mentioned, a lot of teams, so you get coworkers and families, and people get together and put together their costumes or just have a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely. We've seen people dressed as donuts. We've seen a donut and a chef. We've seen we've seen Brutus the Buckeye, all of those types of things. And we've seen teams in tutus, just matching tutus and things like that. A lot of people just kind of put their own spin on it.
And talk a little bit about the website. I know there's a place people can go to get more information.
Absolutely. They can go to columbusdonutrun.com, and that will direct you to the race registration. It's also a place where you can register to be a volunteer if you feel like, you want to participate in a different way. We are absolutely welcoming still volunteers at this point. So either way, you can go to columbusdonutrun.org. It'll explain to you how to register. It'll also show you a map of Genoa Park, and it'll give you directions to pick up your race packet prior to race day. And that includes your Donut Run T-shirt and, instructions for the race.
And Josh, deadline for registration?
October 27th. That way all the registrants can pick up their packets at the designated locations. But that would probably be the latest that we could push it for this.
Once again, we're talking with Josh Riley, the race director, and Sherry Jolly, who's a Jones Foundation chair of the board, about the Donut Run coming up Saturday, October 29th at Genoa Park. It starts at 9 a.m., but you should be there early to take in all the fun stuff, right, Josh?
Absolutely. Line dancing, again, donut mascots. We try to figure out anything we can find that's donut themed and throw it into this event. So it's a lot of fun.
And our donuts mostly come from local donut bakeries. So it's, you'll see, Amy's Donuts, Buckeye Donuts.
Golden Donuts and Diner, Duck Donuts, Little Donut Shop. So we've got all the big names in Central Ohio as participating vendors. So product be great, and it's varied. I'm one of the samplers of the boxes to ensure that,
Yes.
I gain about 10 pounds every year doing this.
Now, if you have that on the volunteer sheet, I'm in. That's no doubt about a donut taster.
Next year.
Yeah. Sherry, how did all this get started?
Well, actually, the Joan Levy-Bissesi Foundation got started, I believe, around about 10 years ago to raise money for head and neck cancer research, because the person it's named for passed away from oral cancer, and it was one of those things that probably could have been detected earlier had there been systems in place and things like that. So they started out with fundraising for research and trying to make advances in the science to save people's lives. But the Donut Run was actually Josh's idea, and this is the 4th year that we've done it. But the Donut Run has actually kind of defined what our organization does. Well,
Josh, you're the founder, so let's hear where did this idea come from?
So I was looking for a fun fundraiser. There's a ton of 5Ks out there. There's a lot of golf outings, and I was thinking, what does Columbus need that Columbus doesn't have that would help loop in the community, that would also bring in some type of a fun aspect that wasn't already being done? There are other donut runs in the country, but none are as engaged in the community as we are, because the other runs are using one specific vendor or it's a for-profit type of run. This is an event where we're giving back to the community and we're engaging all the local donut shops. And so I wanted to make sure that we had that piece in there, because the donut connoisseurs out there love our event as well as the do-gooders.
And besides just getting bigger, how has the run changed over the years?
It's gotten more complex. Every year we bring in a new element. Last year was the selfie booth. This year's a 30-foot inflatable donut. Next year, who knows? We're talking about maybe even a dough pit or something along those lines to keep people interested and keep them coming back year over year.
Now, Sherry, I know you mentioned to me earlier that you still need volunteers for the event. What are some of the jobs that the volunteers can do?
Well, we need volunteers on race day. The biggest task that we do, besides setting up the tents and things like that, is putting together the donut boxes. We get our donuts delivered that morning, so they're fresh. We have how many? 8,000?
18,000.
18,000 fresh donuts delivered, and we have to put them in Donut Run boxes. And so we have actually a very efficient assembly line system, but it requires a lot of people to help us transfer donuts from the delivery into the donut boxes, and it's done fresh the day of the race. And there's usually extra to share, and of course there's Starbucks coffee for anyone who comes. So
and donuts for all the volunteers.
Yes. So it's definitely a fun motivation to get up early on a Sunday morning in October.
Okay, I have to ask you, how do you get 18,000 donuts at one location at one time?
It isn't easy. Think large box trucks coming in from various vendors. We pick these things up at 5:30 in the morning. This year we bought 9,000 donut holes. So we got 9,000 donut holes, we got 18,000 donuts, because every runner gets a half dozen donuts. As Sherry mentioned, Starbucks coffee. So imagine the servings of coffee that are coming in. We're looking at some around 3,500, because we've got a lot of thirsty volunteers out there. And at 6 a.m., people need a lot of Go Juice.
You need it, yeah, without a doubt. Our guests on the program today, Josh Riley and Sherry Jolly, talking about the Donut Run. Again, it's Saturday, October 29th. Josh, anybody can come? No age limit? No. Can you bring your pet?
You cannot bring your pet, unfortunately, because we've got so much food out in the course. We've already got a pretty massive cleanup after the event, so no pets, but everybody else is welcomed. We've got a lot of walkers, we've got a lot of small children, got a lot of kids in strollers. Again, I mean, this is the perfect family event because it truly is. It's an event that pays homage to the donut. It's not just a 5K. There's plenty of just 5Ks out there that are fundraisers. This is a kind of a 2-3 hour event.
Sounds like it's fun just to show up for the entertainment and the value of seeing everybody in their costumes and in all the different ways they show up.
Absolutely.
And again, let's get back to the serious aspect for a minute, the Jones Foundation. Talk a little bit about the money goes for research. So the money goes literally to the James? Is that the way it works?
Yes, it literally goes to research on head and neck cancer done here at the James in Columbus. We have seen that, small donations from Jones Fund to the James have developed into research projects that have made some breakthroughs and resulted in bigger grants for the James and more research and more breakthroughs. Like I said before, the James is kind of the leader right now in the United States on this particular type of cancer, and we'd like to just continue that, going forward. We also don't we want to prevent this from happening, as we're seeing, and if you ever talk to anyone about it, the statistics on young people starting to develop oral cancer is exploding. It's exploding in the last 10 years, and it's going to get worse unless we do some sort of preventative measures. One of the things that we do is we reach out with local dentists because they're the people who are typically doing an examination in your mouth every 6 months.
The front line of defense, essentially.
Yes. Yeah. They're going to see it before you notice it, and they're going to see it before you're sent to another doctor for it. Many times, one of the biggest problems with this particular type of cancer is they don't get to the doctor that they need to see until they're in the late stages, whereas early stages are going to be caught by your dentist and your hygienist if you go for regular dental cleanings.
And Josh, do you have a lot of cooperation and a lot of input into the rates and everything with the medical community? Do they get involved as well, the folks at the James and
We've
others?
got a medical advisory board that's part of our board that are doctors at the James. One of them, Dr. Schuler. We've got the former CEO of the James on our board as a director on the board. The Jones Foundation has raised over $900,000 thus far in our fight towards eradication of head and neck cancer. All of those funds are ultimately allocated to the Jones Fund, which is then spun off for the head and neck cancer research, as Sherry had alluded to, which ends up being a huge pool for them. What's interesting, too, is a really interesting statistic is over 67,000 people are estimated to be diagnosed with head and neck cancer this year. So you put things in perspective, that's basically twice the size of Lancaster will be diagnosed with head and neck cancer this year. Head and neck cancer there's no two ways about it. It's not a pretty form of cancer.
Right.
There's no such thing as a pretty form of cancer, but head and neck cancer, typically survivors are missing pieces of their jaw, missing lymph nodes, tongues. So it's very serious. And as Sherry had mentioned before, typically it was known as the 50-plus-year-old cancer for the drinking, smoking sect, and now we've got all these young professionals that are being diagnosed with it. So something we take very seriously.
What is it about their lifestyle of the younger people that's causing this?
In a word, HPV.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's the spread of HPV, undiagnosed and untreated, will ultimately lead towards, or could lead towards, oral cancer.
And that, of course, is you can get a shot for that, right? A preventative shot?
You can. You can get a vaccine. Usually they vaccinate children around 11 years old, 12 to 13. But it's one of those things that's fairly new and not widespread just yet.
So again, it's about getting the message out,
Absolutely.
letting people know that they're just one more way to prevent this type of cancer.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, we're talking about the Donut Run coming up on Saturday, October 29th with Josh Riley and Sherry Jolly, both with the Jones Foundation, raising money for head and neck cancers at the James. And Josh, once again, why don't you give us the date, the time, and when everybody can get involved in the Donut Run?
Sure. October 29th, Sunday, October 29th. Typically people arrive around 7:38, 8:15. We're going to have multiple mascots running around, DJ playing, line dancing, etc., starting around 7 a.m. If you'd like to volunteer, please go to www.columbusdonutrun.com. If you'd like to participate, you can go to the same website and click on the register button. There's multiple contacts there listed on our website. The more the merrier. We actually have some individuals doing both that are going to be a volunteer, be there at 6 a.m. and they're going to take off and run at 9. So It's up to you.
And sure, it's right downtown, right?
Yes, in Genoa Park, right in front of COSI. It's a really great location. And
great park. It's now finished, which is huge.
Yes, yes, the construction's gone. But also, I mean, you can always go to COSI with your kids after you're done with the donuts.
Yeah, and lots of great places to park there, too. Makes it easy. Great location. Yeah. Josh, Sherry, thank you both so much for coming in, telling us more about the Donut Run, and good luck. I hope you have a very successul day and lots of good weather.
Thanks you. Really appreciate it.
You've been listening to Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about the show, you can drop us a line at 1458 Dublin Road, Columbus 43215. Again, that's Columbus Concerns in care of this station, 1458 Dublin Road, Columbus 43215. I'm Mark Nuce. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next week for another edition of Columbus Concerns.